Thank you all for coming and being a part of this discussion. I always like to say a discussion, dialogue, and exchange, because if there is any struggle, I realize it's a struggle of common sense versus nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Now we've been around certain people, whereas that what they saying is or the activity is not one that is of common sense, but is one of nonsense. And I also like to say the struggle is progression versus regression, which means we want to move forward as opposed to going backwards. Yes, sir. No, man. Nah, never that at all. Yes. We want to talk about the power of choice, as we're still dealing with the problem-solving skills, and doing our best to try to communicate our humanity. Now, what do I mean by saying our humanity? When I deal with one's humanity, I go beyond race, class, gender, religion, politics, economics, and education. Because for the most part, we are born human beings. Is that correct? Human beings. So that means all those other things that come about, they just secondary. But what is primary is that we are human beings. And the manner and way in which we communicate our humanity, and with the manner and way in which we demonstrate it, that we act very civil, very humane, very kind, very hospitable, very generous one to another. Although far too many times we realize it in our lives that sometimes we can be so generous that people take our kindness for what? What's the saying? For weakness. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anybody at this table know we experienced that. You know, you're kind to one another. You say, hold up a minute, man. I'm kind to you and you're taking advantage of me. But then the challenge is that we hold on to that. And then the next person come along, we may not be as kind as we was to that person, but that's probably the person to whom we should be kind to. Then we miss out on what we consider to be a blessing by serving or being a blessing coming to us and being a blessing to one another. Now, but we want to center on this one here. Know the power of choice. I think the word power within itself. Anyone has a understanding or a definition when it comes to power?
Like control.
Control. Okay. What about anyone else?
Respect.
Respect. Write that down. Control. Respect.
Authority.
Okay. Authority. Anyone else? Got any more?
Could you phrase the actual again? Because
the power of choice. And I say that anyone has a understanding or a definition when it comes to power.
And does it also have to do with communicating with other people, or is just what you said? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of
expressions, whatever it is. Yeah, because we're talking about communicating our humanity.
Okay.
Now I want you all to play it. Go ahead, Nigel.
Some people use power it's a way of living for.
Say it again now.
Some people use power in order to live.
In order to live?
Yeah.
Okay. Use power in order to what?
Good point.
Yeah. Use of power. Yep. And there's something to that too. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, I like that one. Yep. Anyone else? When it comes to power.
Well, there's always consequences too. Between power, between good choice or bad choice. It's a consequence.
Yeah. Anyone else? Because we're going to talk about all these things that just came up here now. When it comes to the power of choice, communicating our humanity, It's associated with problem-solving skills. Now, there's a definition. Oh, Dr. King said, power at its best. It loves implementing the demands of justice, which means that you must go through a process when we're dealing with problem-solving skills. You must be able to, right here, it's implement. But first you must identify what the problem is. Now, you said here, Israel, that one of the words you use, the power, as your definition, your understanding, is control. Mm-hmm. Now, when I think of control, I think of more of a sense of being dominatory. Yeah. Huh? Is that the case? Yeah. Dominatory. Now, what is the first thing you think that you need to have control of? It's who?
Yourself.
Is yourself. Primary. Mm-hmm. That is a responsibility of each and every one of us here, is to have control over ourselves. Now, there's a saying that you should have control over this and control over that, but the primary concern is you have control over yourself. Now, what are the things you need to have control of? One is your feelings. Huh?
Your emotions.
What? Your emotions, yeah.
Your health.
You control your health, by eating right. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, good point. Now, what about these feelings, man? What about controlling these feelings? Huh?
Like depending on what type of power you're referring to. Like back in the old times, kings and queens, they couldn't show weakness. They had to control their weakness. Mm-hmm. They, even now, like in the army or whatever, they can't show scaredness. Mm-hmm. That's why they train them. So they train people in the Marines, as I read, and like in the U.S. Navy SEALs, mm-hmm. that one of the main courses that they do is to controlling their emotions and feelings, because they're gonna see stuff that they're not gonna want to see.
Oh, now, yeah.
It's like those are the hardest. From the physical, they say that in the SEALs, to be a SEALs team is so hard because, one of the courses that they have to take is, they gotta watch live videos of executions. They gotta watch dead kids. They gotta watch all that, because when they encounter that, they can't let their emotions or feelings get in the way. That will disrupt an operation that they're dealing with. Or it's I did a research on that, and I found that shocking how that is the main. They say that the main hardest course that people don't really make it is the physical course, that they got to go to training to, because whatever they're gonna witness or see, they got to be strong.
Interesting. Now, reason why I say that, and because if you got to control your emotions when you see all that, that means that you have to depersonalize whatever that's going on.
Yeah.
But you know what you disconnected from? You disconnected from here. Think about it.
The what?
Your humanity.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
You disconnected from the humanity of numbers. Now, let's bring it home here now. If somebody gets to you, right, in the wrong way, you're going to say, listen, man, I'm going to do something to you. You got to just depersonalize that, depersonalize yourself from him. Yeah.
You're right about that, because, being over here, I gotta cook for everybody. I gotta give them medicine.
Yeah.
And I get cursed at a lot.
Yeah.
I get all types of things. So right. I gotta, I'm not out in the streets where back in the day would be different.
Right.
Right here, you gotta show a professionalism.
Yes, sir.
And you gotta I just block it and let it go the other way.
Good stuff. That's good stuff.
And,
good stuff.
Continue my job, because you can't be doing.
Yes, sir.
What you used to do back then, especially now that you're older, and some people ain't in the same state that you are in.
Right.
So you gotta control your emotions, and that's the main thing.
Good stuff.
Talking about, you gotta control your
emotions. Control yourself first. Control yourself. Your
body.
That's right. That's right. The whole you. Now, the next word. If anybody else has anything to say without that, because y'all can talk to me now. I want you to talk. The next one is respect. Now, don't everybody here want respect? Huh?
Everybody.
I love it, man. I love it.
Everybody deserves it.
And that respect must be mutual. It must be mutual.
But there's a lot of people that don't also respect themselves. So they're okay with it, living like that.
Yeah.
They never learn what respect is, or they never had it, or they
Yeah.
never, like lived it.
Yes.
So we have a lot of that in this world.
Okay.
you know.
Good stuff, man. I hear you. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, I wrote in my diary years ago after a relationship broke up, and the reason for breaking up is because you learn things about the other person that then become incompatible with living. But if you're honest with yourself, you were also responsible for that breakup, and you have to learn things about yourself.
Good stuff. That's right. Because you got to figure out what role that you play in that.
Right.
Yeah.
Rather than blaming it on them.
That's
totally.
right. That's right. That is right. That means that you have accepted some responsibilities for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's maturity. That's maturity. Then the next point is some authority. Authority. That's someone that's have the say so to some degree of
Either giving it or like respecting it, cause
what
like
some
authority, it can be different things too. Like,
someone can give it to you through
like a lot
could
of
be
people
official.
say that outcasts, they don't like,
Yeah.
they don't follow authority, or you're the authority here. You gotta.
But what about the term when people say certain things, they say it's a God-given authority. What's y'all take on that? That God gave me
God-given
God gave me this authority.
Never really heard that saying.
Yeah. But it's a given. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a given. Now, what I try to do is, when I think of the word authority, I try to say authority. I try to speak from I am authorized due to the fact that I speak from the position of resiliency. That's my authority. Now, the reason why I say that, because remember how we got here from our conception, from our mama womb, we were resilient. Talking about those sperm cells, we were resilient. And when you're resilient, that means you get right back in shape. Whatever it is that gets you out of character or gets you out of line, you're resilient enough to get right back in shape. For example, you just said when you were cooking sometimes, you said that sometimes some brothers may rub you the wrong way, but you get right back in shape. That means you take control, right? Because you know the importance of respect. Because you are the authority, that means you have the control. And it doesn't control you. Huh? That's good stuff. And then Nigel talks about the word live, the power to live. Do you know, I realized that the cause, CASUE, of life is to what?
Live.
Is to live. Everybody wants to live. Huh? Who wants to die?
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? People are fighting. Go ahead now.
I've had 2 suicide attempts.
No.
I've done once.
Wait a minute. Well, why do you think you had that? Why do you think you want to give up?
Talked to psychiatrists about it.
Yeah.
There were complicated reasons, different reasons for each, and I'm not going to go into it now.
No, I
It's
got
just
you.
that when you say everybody wants to live, not necessarily.
Yeah, no, think about it though. No, because listen, primarily, I always get things to its causal root. Primarily, we came here to what? To live, to exist on this planet Earth. Outside influences came in and put us in a position where we say we want to give up on what? On life. So we have these natural tendencies. We have the tendencies in us that has and these natural tendencies sometimes influence us in a way that causes more harm than what? Good. But if we have control, over it, and we develop this sense of respect for self, and then we take authority over it, then we know that we are primarily here to what? To live.
Right, and that's my attitude now. Those were 2 isolated instances, but being here is everything you just said.
Yes.
Projecting toward living and avoiding outside influences. That's why I'm here, and I'm loving it here.
Good stuff. There we get. Now we're getting in there. We're getting there. And then he says, live and listen. And then Israel always talks about the consequences, because we all have to face the consequences for our actions, whether what? Good or bad. So we got to deal, because we have control when it comes to the power of what? Of choice.
Choice, right?
We have that. We have that. Because it's just like somebody giving you alternatives when it comes to other possibilities. And it's like, you got to learn how to say, well, man, should I make this decision? Should I go in that direction? And sometimes you may not make the right decision at that particular time. And that's based upon the information and the data that has been given to you. That's based upon where you are in your mental state. You may not have, but that's why it's always good to be surrounded by people, good people, that helps you to put you in a better position that you be able to make the right what? Decision. Oh, good God Almighty. Huh? Think about it. Because you knew what's at stake, Israel. When you know what's at stake, you won't put yourself in a bad position to make a wrong decision that will cause more harm than good.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. Think about it. Like Israel, he took steps. Frank, whatever, anybody that's here, they took steps. They're here. Even if you came to this table, even though you didn't want to necessarily come to this table, but you still took steps. You implemented something. You took the steps and you were here. So there's another thing that we go do. We got to know how to select. Remember, we got to select how we're going to go about dealing with individuals, or we got to be selective in how we choose our battles. Huh? We got to be very selective. Now, also we got to do this here. We got to learn how to evaluate the situation. Think about it. The word estimation is associated with the word self-esteem. That means you're estimating something. And when you're estimating something, you're planning to something where you're in proximity, and when you're in close proximity of something, it should give you value. Anything that you interact with or engage with should give you value because you're adding value one to another. You're not just here by happenstance. You're here because we are of value and we're adding value to one another. When we add value to one another, then we have nothing in our mind that we want to devalue each other. So we should not need to put each other in a situation where we put each other down. Does that make sense to you? We should be able to lift each other up. Now, I realize this here though. When we're talking about problem-solving skills here. It says that a pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity and an optimist sees an opportunity in every difficulty. What does that mean? Think about that. Talk to me now.
It's your attitude toward the problem.
There we're talking.
You're direct. Yeah.
Now we're talking. It says here, the problem is not the problem. The problem is the attitude you have about the problem.
I didn't read that. You had it up there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
This could be a problem for a lot of people. But it's the attitude that you have about the problem. So we got to develop the right attitude, the right mindset. Now check this out. It says 10% of conflicts are due to difference of opinion and 90% is due to the wrong tone of voice.
Will, don't fall asleep on us.
Think about it though.
I ain't going to sleep.
Just checking on you, buddy.
Think about it. It says 10% of conflicts are due to difference of opinion and 90% is due to the wrong tone of voice. Why? People are going to say things to you, but 90% of the time is how you respond to what they say.
90% of the time is when things are negative.
Say it again now.
90% of the time is when things are negative.
Negative. That's
Not positive.
now listen, that's a good word, negative. Now, because the prefix of the word negative is to block something. You know, when somebody go to shoot the ball, they block it. Mm-hmm. That means accessibility. That means there is no flow. When there is no flow, there is a disease. When there is no disease, they call it in some sense a blood clot. That means there is a disease. That means you are not at peace. That is the negativity. But the prefix, the word positive, is pause, is to have access to. So it's a constant flow. Huh? Everybody wants to be in a constant flow. But as he said, the negative, the 90% is due to negative. Huh? Mm-hmm. But what about this tone of voice? You ever talk to someone and then you very calm and he say, man, you know what I'm saying? You in the street, he didn't holler and you say, hold up, man. Who do you think you're talking to? Huh? Slow down, man. And then he's still yelling. And what you think gonna happen? He create an environment, an explosive environment for you to what? To respond or react to the way in which he's speaking to you in that tone of voice.
Misery like company.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. I like that. Think about it. sometimes we're in situations that we may not like, and you say, man, listen, man, I don't know you think you're talking to, man. I ain't no child. You ever said that before? Huh?
Many times.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you think that he, you know what I'm saying, man, you put me down because the way you're saying things and how you're saying it to me and the tone of voice of what you're saying to me, man, I ain't no child, man.
And the funny one is when they say I'm not a child, but
Yeah.
they're acting like a child.
I got you.
You know?
I got you. Yeah.
How the children.
And they say have a phrase for that in response. Who do you think you're talking to?
Yeah. Who do you think?
How the children.
He said, how a child acts.
Yeah.
Wah! Wah!
That's not funny.
Scream.
Yeah, I understand. That's good. No, but I understand. Now you have an exchange. Yeah. Yeah. Now, when you talk about thinking, when you think I realize that vision stems from the source of your thinking. Which means, what's going on in your mind? What you're thinking about. Huh? What's going on in your mind? What are you thinking about? Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Frank.
Okay.
Because this is your time.
One thing
I'm
that irritates me. I'm very political, but I keep it low key. I keep it to myself and my circle of friends. But I often hear on newscasts and from people like, how do you feel about this issue? Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to know how you feel about it.
Right.
I want to know what you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not asking you, this gets me so mad, watch me, I'm getting mad. I don't, you can say it in an even tone of voice.
Right.
And just what you think about it. Use the brain, not the emotion.
Right, I got you. That's another good point. I got you there. That's right. So be less emotional. Remember we said we had a session before that we allow our emotions override our logic. Mm-hmm. So we got to have the balance. The emotion and the logic got to be
That's
balanced.
one of the central problems of human beings.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good one there. That's right. Now we're going to offer some solutions here now. One of the solutions here when it comes to this session here, power of choice, communicating our humanity in the best of ways. I want to say this here before I proceed on. Is that we have to... Go ahead, Nigel. Go ahead. Say it again, Nigel. I didn't understand.
I can't understand.
I hope none of the people that lived in this house didn't drink none of my sodas.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's the problem with drinking something of his.
None of the people in the house drink none of their soda or something.
Now, if you see me drinking some orange in a bottle, that's my vitamin drink that I make upstairs. You may think it's your orange juice, but I want to clear that.
I didn't see you, man.
I just didn't know what.
I didn't mention his name no more.
Yeah, I got you. That's cool. Now, this is another thing here now, right? It's a good thing because you all have to realize that you all are here living to what? Living together. Now, when someone shares something to you in a manner and way that could seem very offensive, remember you got to have what?
Control.
You got to have control, man.
Yeah.
You got to have control, man. You got to. You in control. You know what I'm saying? And then when you're in control, you know the importance of what? Respect. When you respect, then you know the importance of what? Of authority. And when you know the importance of authority, these are words that you all came up with here. This is you all coming up with this. Then you got the word, the importance of what? Living. That's Nigel was talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then Ishmael talking about the what? Consequences. Because we all have to face the consequences for our actions, whether good or bad. So we want to get to a point that we learn to reason with maturity. Be mature. Huh? Because we all have gotten to a point in our lives that we're tired of interacting and acting in a manner that is either irrational, illogical, unreasonable, and very immature. Right or wrong?
Right.
Huh? So we're trying to work on that, and we are working on that, and that's why we are here. Not so much we are here in this place, but we are here as human beings. We are here to coexist and live with one another and be able to communicate our humanity in the best way, and that which has been given to us is our faculties to be able to reason in the use of our limbs, our hands, our feet, our eyes, what we taste, our feelings. All these things have been given to us that we be able to communicate in the best of ways our humanity. Huh? What is it? This is what is available to us. Look at these hands. Look at these eyes. Look at your feet. Look at how you are made up. This is how, what we call, God has structured this thing for us to be able to collectively and cooperatively work one with another. From your mother, from my father. The power of choice. In this wise, I say this. Stay away, as the brother said, from negative people. They have a problem for every solution. Ain't that something, man? Ain't that something, man? Huh?
Amen.
Stay away from negative people or negative stuff, because it creates a problem when there is no problem. You know what I'm saying? We are solution-oriented people. And then, go ahead, Frank.
There's a jazz piano player that lives in Fells Point, and whenever he's sitting around just passing the time, if I sit next to him, he talks about negative.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
says, I don't know why I go on. And he really means it. And I just stopped seeing him.
Yes, that's right. Stay away from
But
it.
I
Yeah.
phased out. I just saw him less and less, and I didn't want him to get hurt.
Yes.
He was just bringing me down.
That's what I'm talking. That's right. That's why I say these tendencies.
And the choice, I had to leave.
You had to leave. You had the choice. You had the choice. Now, that's why I say we have these natural tendencies that influence us, that it puts us in a position where it causes more harm than good. You know what I'm saying? So, and finally, brothers, you are not free until you have no need to impress anybody.
That's good.
Huh? You are not free until you have no need to impress anyone. I ain't got nothing to prove to you. There's a story in closing about a gentleman who probably did 20 years, doing 20 years in the pen, as they call it, the joint, whatever.